All right, I think we're connected right now. So
Okay.
let's just hold on for people to start connecting. All
Okay.
right, I see we have 9 people. Awesome. Hi everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm so excited that we are having our second episode of the Safe Agile Framework. And as you join, go ahead and share, so that other people can benefit from this information session, this knowledge sharing session. And happy Sunday again, everyone. Happy Sunday. Let's just give one more minute so that more people can connect. Once we get to like 20 people, we can get started. Oh, someone is asking for the link. So for if we have anybody here that is part of the Go Getter Being Agile group, please repost the link on that group so others can join. Even though I already did, but seems like some people didn't get it. Hi everyone. Good morning or it's good afternoon. Happy Sunday wherever you are. Thank you all for joining. We're very excited to be hosting our guest, and we are having the second episode of the Skilled Agile Framework. So, like I stated last week, the purpose or what inspired us to start this Skilled Agile Framework series is because of a lot of open questions that have really been popping lately from our public audience, from Being Agile family. I mean, it's a whole lot going on, and it seems like there have been a lot of ambiguity out there regarding this topic. So we decided to, as part of our community service, to share what we know so far based on our experience, so that just by exchanging this information, we can also learn from you as well as you learning from us. So that is really what we are doing, and we are very glad to be here today. And thank you for joining. Again, as you join, please go ahead and share. Thanks, everyone. I see. Let me just say hi to some people. Atang, thank you for joining. Ifi, Neng, Immaculate, Bonnie, Ellen, Kilem, thank you all so much for joining. As you join, please go ahead and share. All right. Without further ado, as you all can see, we have a guest. I'm so excited to be hosting Aisha Jallo this morning. So Aisha is a very passionate agile coach. For those who may not know Aisha is part of our family, our agile family, by the way. And Aisha decided to be part of this initiative. This is just her own way of giving back to the community. And I'm just gonna, pass the mic to Aisha to properly introduce herself to us. So Aisha.
Thank you, Coach. I'm very happy to be here today. It's really very nice to have this platform where you continuously share your passion, and I'm very appreciative for this opportunity. My name is Aisha Jallo. I currently work as an Agile Coach. Prior to that, I was a Scrum Master. I'm very passionate about Agile, and I've been mostly working in an environment about company that's transitioning from Waterfall to Agile, because I feel like that's the most challenging, and I like to go for challenges. So that's always been my passion. And thank you, Coach, for here. I'm happy to be here today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aisha, for that brief and straight to the point introduction. We're very glad. This is really going to be a conversation. So, for our audience, please, you all know how I like it. As we go through this conversation, whatever we are sharing here is not set on stone. So, please leverage the comment section and share your thoughts on our conversation. Drop your points too, and we will be considering taking your points into consideration. And it's just really going to be a free conversation. This is the safest place, like I always say, that you can fail, learn, unlearn, relearn, and no one is judging you, because that's really what we do here. All right. Aisha, I'm just really curious, and I'm sure our audience are curious too, to know how did you get into the agile space?
Oh, thank you for that question. Actually, My company that I was working for, I was working as a project manager, and the company decided to transition into Waterfall. And like there's always like this consultancy they will bring to the company. They have like a 6 month training. They have Scrum Masters and train. I was one of those that was given the opportunity to be a Scrum Master. And I went through those session and I felt like there was a lot of gap. I felt like there was still a lot that I don't know, and I'm given this new role. I don't know how to maneuver it. So I was like, okay, let me see what's out there, because I only knew what I knew then. And I came on YouTube and I saw your YouTube on being agile consulting, and you are like saying like, if you are a new Scrum Master or you are aspiring Scrum Master and you want to further learn our mentor and coach, please contact me. And I remember then right away, I took my phone and I called you. I was like, "Are you carrying Fomafung?" You're like, "Yes." I was like, "Are you true, the real carrying Fomafung?" You're like, "Yes, it is." I was like, "Okay, I have this new role. I feel like I don't know nothing. There's a lot of challenges I'm faced, and I need a mentor, and I don't feel like I can move any forward other than me having a platform." And then you were like, "Oh yeah, sure, we have Being Agile Consulting. It's a very good platform. You can learn, and you have this tribe, and you can basically go from there." And I remember joining the program, and I was one of those that was so inquisitive. I just wanted to know. I will ask questions, and sometimes I would even take up time asking questions. Coach, okay, Aisha, okay, that's enough. Let's give other people time to ask questions. So I was very appreciative, and that changed my life forever. So I would have not imagined being this far, going from a Scrum Master and now being an Agile Coach, if I was not part of that tribe, because the platform was set up. And to be honest, I'm still very appreciative. And till now, you still remain my mentor, and I'm very happy about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aisha, for sharing that. I mean, I've always said you are a true definition of inspiration. And you know that so many people from our Being Agile family have taken advantage of your generosity, and the knowledge and just the information you share, always willing to help other young Scrum Masters, bring them up to speed with the expectation to be successful on the ground. And we are really, really appreciative of that. And we are glad that you're here today, still doing the same thing you love to do.
Yeah, thank you.
So, yeah. So, now our theme for today is PI planning, which is just a part of the Skilled Agile framework. So, I'm just curious to hear from you. How would you define the PI planning?
I remember the first time I worked in a safe environment and I was told about PI planning. I was like, what is PI planning? Okay, what is another? Is there more meeting? What kind of series of meetings again is this? They were like, okay, no, PI planning, which is basically program increments. It's like a place, event where everyone in this agile release trained team will connect and discuss the next company about the vision, the future, and discuss the roadmap about the next initiative goal that the company plans to release. I was like, okay, this sounds like a lot. So there's all of these meetings, and what is the purpose of it? And basically, it's like a meeting that you go in and you map out all of these goals about the next increments your art, your agile release art to plan to release. So like, okay, this sound interesting. And I attended the first PI planning. Oh boy, I wish I knew what I knew now. And then it's like I was like put in a meeting, and we thought, because we were new to it. We were new to the safe then, because in the beginning they were dealing for one scrum team. The team was successful, and the company decided to adopt safe. And I was one of those team that was part of those initial experiments. And oh boy, I would say we failed, but to be honest, as we kept going, and we really grew, and it got better.
Amazing, amazing. So there is one thing you said, which to me I think is the most important. Aisha said when she, joined this organization and then she heard about PI planning, she was curious, the curious Aisha. And she really wanted to understand what this meeting is all about. And they said, oh, it's a high level planning meeting where they come together to align on the scope of their next objective. And Aisha was more interested on the purpose for it. So that again, this brings us to the 10th principle of Agile simplicity, maximizing the amount of work not done, not just going for meetings just because we want to look busy.
Yeah.
Pretend busy is not what we do. So Aisha was really curious on the purpose of the meeting and she asked for clarification. You see, so as agile practitioners, especially upcoming agile practitioners, I really urge you, to always come from that place of, okay, what's the purpose? Why are we doing this? What value would this bring? All right. So now, would you mind just telling us who are the who attends this meeting?
All right, that's a very good question. So basically, we have our release train engineer who oversees a particular art, and on that art, anyone that have the same product goal and vision, they all basically attend that meeting. So basically, you have the Scrum Masters, you have the product owner, you have like some part like managers, all the way to the program level. Anyone that will add value into that meeting and will help connect team together and discuss our next goal. All of those people attend.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. So you have been using an acronym here, ART. What is that? Not everyone
The Agile
understands.
release train.
Agile
And
release train.
the Agile, that's
Okay.
the art.
Sounds
And
good.
RTE
Yeah,
is the
because
release train engineer.
okay, not everyone understands acronyms. So
I'm sorry, is this Agile in me, right? There's
I
acronyms
know.
everywhere.
All right, thank you very much. I know we've kind of touched on the you know how you define this meeting, and we touch on what some of the purpose of it, but I am also curious to know what value in your experience does these events bring.
All right, as a Scrum Master, because most of the time when I worked in the safe environment, I was a Scrum Master. For the value for me at that particular moment was knowing my team future epic they'll be working on, ensuring like I'm connecting with the PO and the PO already map out and break down those to user stories, and knowing what of which of the sprints, because in a particular PI you might have up to 5 to 6 sprints, and know like if we are dependent on another team, or which where can we plan that particular work for in which of the sprints. And if we can able to allocate that, map out our dependency, look at our capacity planning, ensure we have the skill set and the experience, we have everyone in sync about the goal. If I can come up with all of that at the end of the PI, then I'll be okay, yes, we achieved something. So for me, the value is mapping out dependency, connecting with PO, ensuring like everyone is understanding with this new initiative, ensuring you have the right people working on the right thing, and knowing at what sprint to break down this goal. And that's like the end value. Also, at the end is to deliver increment and valuable, usable increments to our end users.
Amazing, amazing. So I've heard like four key points, which I hope that our viewers are picking up, especially if they're struggling with this area. I've heard, alignment with key stakeholders like the PO, like high top leadership, like team. That's what I've heard. Alignment. I've also heard about making sure that the right people are working on the right things. How powerful is that? See, and then I've also heard about dependency mapping. And dependency mapping is in terms of how do we eradicate these dependencies, or how do we manage the ones that cannot be eradicated. So those are some of the key points that I've captured out of everything you've said, and thank you very much. So what exactly do you do in this meeting? Because I've heard
All right.
so many different things, but I really want to hear from someone that has done it.
All
I'm
right.
tired of reading so many things online and I'm just lost in a whole bunch of information.
Yeah.
So just tell me, based on your experience, what exactly you do in this meeting.
All right, so I'm going to talk based on a Scrum Master because, like I said, my role was a Scrum
Hmm.
Master in this PI environment. So I don't like to wait for last minute stuff. I'm one of those that like to plan ahead. Although, like you have our 2 day PI planning event in my company, so I like to know our next initiative, like in our current PI before that PI that's coming up. So I like to do what we call the pre-PI planning prep. So basically, I am connecting with my PO ahead of time. Like, okay, what is our next epic we're working on? What's our next feature? Do we have the right knowledge? Is there any KT needed? Is there any training? Do we have, now that we're looking at our capacity, do we have all these allocation hours we're going to be working on before the PI? And if so, this new epic you are giving, do you understand how to break this to user stories? Are you able to do this? If not, who else can we connect with who help us? And the teams that we're going to be depending on, I'll start connecting with that team member Scrum Masters. Start building those relationships early on. I don't wait till the day of the PI planning because on that day there's a lot going on. People, everyone is already even not even happy about staying on long hours meetings and stuff.
Mhm.
So I like to do my own ahead of time. And I noticed that the first time I told you we failed because that was the thing I did not do. We didn't do the pre-PI planning prep. We just went to the PI and we expected to break down those stories and do everything
You
on the day of the
expected to,
PI.
to do magic.
Yeah. And I noticed that when I started planning ahead of time and connecting with other people, start getting buy-in from other team members, because we have like a UX designer that was split between multiple teams. So I'm already connecting with them, started to look out for my team because as much as the other people need him, I'm like, okay, we need you too. So build all those relationships early on and connecting, and people that plan to go on vacation, people that's having a baby, getting married for that particular PI, getting all of those out of the way before as we get closer to the PI, and also schedule extra meetings. So that's one thing I know, like sometimes people don't want to take that little initiative of meeting. I'll put all the whole team together for us just to discuss each of those epic, just to ensure that we are all in sync with the goal, the vision, and also the requirements. So then in the day of the PI itself, we are just basically in our breakout session, just going back to connect again with this team. And it becomes easy because why? It's not our first time meeting them. We already saw them in the past. We already saw them. So we just continue building a relationship, and they will tell us, okay, we plan to work on this in PI 5.1. So now your team can plan for this work in 5.2. So having all of those mapped out have been also been very, very helpful for me and my team.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. That's really insightful.
Yeah.
So, what I'm hearing is the secret to be successful, again, based on your experience in this PI planning meeting, is to be proactive.
Yeah.
So, what is an agile practitioner without proactiveness? I mean, you cannot call yourself that if you are not proactive. That's really the secret of being an agile practitioner. So, being proactive, building this relationship, connecting with these people, so that if you're expecting the team to help you, you don't just want to pop up from the blue and start asking for their capacity. Of course,
Yeah.
they don't know you, so they will just be like, "Who are you?" So you want to be proactive and start making this connection, start establishing these relationships, so that you already understand yourself, and then you already align on, okay, we will be needing your help for this particular in this particular area, right before the actual meeting. So I also just want to add that the same way Aisha is pre-planning for a PI planning meeting, I need you to see this at team level as what we call the backlog refinement sessions,
Yes.
where you're having these proactively so that your sprint planning meetings will be effective. So that's really what that means to me. And before we move on with these questions, I just want to say welcome to those who just connected. And we've been having conversations. If you have any question regarding this theme for today, which is PI planning in scaled agile framework, leverage the comment section, drop your thoughts, and then participate in the conversation again through the comment section. Anything we are saying here, I want to always remind us, it's not set on stone. We are only talking based on our experience. So if you are experienced, you have any information to add, please do not hold it back. Just use the comment section. That's how we learn from each other. We don't know it all. And one thing that I just want us to recognize in this space, how do you feel seeing young, beautiful ladies killing it in this space? I mean, it's just inspiring to me. I don't know about you, Aisha. I don't know about our audience. So I am just pointing this out because this is something you don't see easily. Especially, I am from Africa, and I believe Aisha is from Africa too.
Yes, I
This is,
am.
yeah, I mean, you don't see this often.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just everything. So, if you are one of those that have been wondering, or if never even seen yourself doing this, or a family member that is just hopeless or looking down on themselves because of where they come from, please, you can do this thing. You can become too. All it takes is for you to want it first. and to start believing in yourself. It's so inspiring to
Yeah.
see young, beautiful, chocolate ladies. I mean, I have nothing against a man, but it's so beautiful and very inspiring. And I hope that by the end of this session, one or two people will be inspired to. You must not be inspired to become an agile practitioner. In any other thing in your life that you're passionate about, I just want to let you know that you can do it and you can achieve it. So all you need to do is take action, commit, and be consistent. Regardless of how slow you're taking steps, as long as you continuously take steps, you will definitely see some results. All right, so enough of my preaching or motivational speech.
Cool.
All right,
Yes.
so Aisha, again, based on your experience, what are some of the challenges you've encountered during this PI planning meeting?
All right, I'll be honest with these challenges because it's nice when you can map out your work, you plan out your work, and see it right for the almost 5 sprints. And it's nice if everything will go as planned. But in life, sometimes things don't go as planned. One of our PI at the middle of our PI, one of our team member left, and sometimes someone also got sick, they had to leave, so that affected our capacity, then it affected our velocity, and sometimes we had to push back our work. And also that's the one challenge I faced. Another challenge that I faced is like when we rely on another team to complete, when they told us during the PI they're going to complete their work in sprint 1.2, and 1.2 and they still are not done with the work. And now my team can work on it because now we can work without that part of the work completed. So then we are stuck. So in that moment, then it's like, okay, what do I do? We just start to work on tech debt item. But that's like the biggest challenge. Like sometimes the people you plan to work with at the middle of the sprint or the middle of the PI, they might not be the same people. People will leave. And like changing team in the middle of the PI
Yeah.
becomes so challenging.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That I can only imagine that.
Yeah.
So for those asking how they can reach us, if you check on the very first chat, the first text message on this comment section, you will see a text message that is pinned there. Just click on that link. You will be able to, get our contact information and go from there. It's pretty easy to reach us. All right. Thank you very much. So now, what is your honest opinion about this event? I know there've been a lot of talks out there regarding the value of these meetings, regarding safe, regarding all
Yeah.
sort of things. But I want to hear from you, coming from an experience standpoint. What is your honest opinion regarding a PI planning meeting?
I would say it's nice. There's a pro and con, right? Because there's no such thing as very bad thing or very good
Yeah.
thing. Um, in PI planning, I think it's nice if we can know ahead of time what we're going to be working on. Then the challenge is that what if at the end you didn't even go, anything didn't go as planned? And we
Yeah.
know in life sometimes things doesn't go as planned. And sometimes too, it's nice if everything will go as planned, and then you're even saving time in your sprint planning meetings because you already mapped out your work. Everyone is in line about the goal. Everything is just moving smoothly. But 9 out of 10 times, sometimes things doesn't go as planned. So then it's
Yeah.
like you find yourself doing it all over again. It's like you
Oh,
continue
wow.
replanning, you're adjusting your capacity, and you go, yeah, adjusting the velocity, and you're okay. We plan during PI, we're gonna be having 30 story points to work on this sprint, but now we lost these 2 people, and now we can't even commit to that. Or now the dependency it's not cleared, we can't even move forward. We are stuck. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
back and forth thing. But I can say
I
it's
can
very
easily relate to
successful in
that.
one of the company I worked for. They didn't have as much dependency, so the work was so flow. It was so smooth. We meet for our sprint planning, and we only spend like 30 minutes in our planning because our work will just remain the same. So that's another benefit and pro and con, I would say.
Yeah, I can easily relate to the con of this because again, things are bound to change. The only
Yeah.
constant thing is change itself,
Yep.
and agile is designed to be flexible
Yes.
around change. So I've heard so many people saying that okay, What's the point? Because these are some of the questions that usually come from the team members themselves.
Yeah.
What's the point in go sitting for 2 full days
Yeah.
and coming up with a plan that will hardly ever
Follow, right?
exactly? So they feel like they're just wasting their time, because I have never seen a PI planning, a PI in the course of executing that PI, that things just remain the way
The
it
way it
was
is.
planned. So team members usually feel like, okay, what's the point of doing this? But again, like you said, the value that I really appreciate during this event is the alignment.
Yeah.
Alignment with stakeholders,
Alignment.
alignment with team members,
Yeah.
and all of that. So yeah. All right. Now, what advice would you have for for our viewers that are already in this environment, and maybe they have one or two challenges, or are aspiring agile practitioners? What advice would you have from them?
Oh, my advice would be like if you work in a safe environment, it's very important for you to, when you're doing PI planning, don't focus too much on the PI planning itself. Focus on your team and look at your team and look at their needs and listen
Mhm,
to your team, and don't worry about the overall big picture. Just
mhm,
think small. Think about what you are faced with and don't be stressing about the whole event.
mhm.
I've come
Yeah.
across people that will stress a lot about the event and it makes it so difficult. And build those relationship early on. Don't wait till the meeting itself is for you to start connecting with this person and that person. Start everything early on, and always don't hesitate to schedule that extra meeting. That extra meeting to just for that couple of weeks, just do it. And also do retrospective. I always used to also do like a PI post PI retrospective, and that always helped the team so we all can look back and see how we did and look at people's health too, like
Mhm,
how did that go, how stressful were you, and we scale
mhm.
it up back and forth, and the goal is to always reduce that as we continue on one PI to another.
Wow, that's really amazing. Awesome. I see people already posting questions. So, viewers, thank you. Those who just recently joined, thank you for joining. Again, the comment section is yours. Post your questions there, and we will take your questions once we are done with the whole conversation. Again, those who are asking how they could reach us, there is a pinned message, the very first text message. Just go there, click on that link. It should take you to our website. From the website, you can get our contact information, like our phone number, our email, and we will be glad to help you. If you are just starting in this agile space, or you're looking to get in, we can help you through our intense Scrum Master training level 1 program. If you are in between just a certification and a job, we can help you. We do awesome mentoring. We have a very, very customized program that is designed to help people succeed and sustain their success long term. So join us through the link on our website, and we will be glad to assist you. If you're already on the ground and struggling, just like Aisha was struggling, to be very value adding and be impactful in your organization, again, feel free to reach out. And we have people, it may not be me, we have different people that we will connect you, we'll pair you up based on the chemistry
Yeah.
of you and the mentor. All right. So now, Aisha, the question I have for you is, if our audience wants to reach you personally, how can they reach you?
Oh, actually, I have a LinkedIn account. I also mentor like aspiring Scrum Master and people that are already practicing Scrum Master. My LinkedIn is my name, Aisha Jallo. And I also have Instagram. My Instagram is called Aisha Scrum. My first name and Scrum. So that's where you can reach out to me.
I don't know why that sounds funny, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you all have heard Aisha also, like mother, like daughter. Aisha does
Oh,
she's so passionate about this, and she helps a lot of aspiring scrum masters that are already on the ground. So she just helps them as well, mentor them to be value adding. So again, she already told you all, if you're looking forward to reaching to her personally, feel free to do so. And we may be wrapping up right now, but before we do so, we will leave some time for questions and answers. Again, Thank you so much, Aisha. I think I have learned so much from this session. I always appreciate these sessions, because it's always an opportunity for me to learn one or two things. There is no way I would come live or do some video for the community or bring a guest and then I don't learn anything. That's really the whole point. And I'm really so glad that you were able to honor our platform and just sharing all this very insightful information. Thank you so much. So now
Thank you, Coach,
we
for
will
having
just give some time. You're welcome. We will just
me.
give some time for our audience to, get their questions clarified. Let me run through this. So this is your time. Post your questions. Take advantage of this. Do not hesitate to. How can I get Agile community? All right, someone is asking, how can I join the Agile community? So there are so many different Agile communities out there. I don't know why there is one fly here that would not let me request.
Is this
Like,
summertime?
what's going on here? So if you're looking to join, there are so many different Agile
Yeah.
communities, and it's easy to find them and join. But if you're looking to join Being Agile community, you have to be an internal person to be part of our community. Again, we want to make sure that we know you before
Yeah.
you're part of our village, because the culture that we have in that space, we guard it with our life, we protect it to make sure it stays healthy. So that is why we it means a lot that you are part of the family or internal
Mhm.
person before you can become a member of our community. You see, so you can go through any of our program. It may be level 1, level 2, or level 3, and there are some steps that you will take to become a member of the community of practice. All right. The other question here is, oh, okay. Let me see. Someone said plan ahead, build relationship. Or someone was just reiterating your
Yeah.
point. Let's see here. So someone is asking Aisha, do you facilitate the breakout room session on the general session or the general session?
I actually facilitate the breakout room session, but the general session is mostly done by the release train engineer, the RTE. And sometimes to the PO too will facilitate the breakout session. And one time though, I had two teams and they had their breakout session at the same time. So I was jumping from one team to another. But then I had to tell the PO to take over and facilitate one of the sessions.
Okay, so now this question is from me. I'm just curious. So when you were jumping from one team to the other, how did that feel like, and why did you feel the need to ask the PO to take over one session?
Because I felt like if I have to be moving from one team to another, then there'll be no value in me doing that.
Okay.
So I connected with the PO as okay, it looks like our breakout session, one of them was set up at the same time. If you mind just taking over for this team, and the team that I felt like needed more support, and I took over that team. And the other team that I felt like they were aligned with the goal, everything was smooth, dependency was already mapped out. I felt like they were safe enough to be alone by themselves. So I told that PO to just took over that other team. So the other team that was
Okay.
more challenging, and I took over that team.
Okay, wow, awesome. That really sounds good. So, just you saying that, it brings me to think about what people call multitasking. I can just imagine, just because I see that as you're just deceiving yourself that you're multitasking. There is really nothing as multitasking. It's just
No.
context switching, which at
Yep.
the end of the day, it just ends up with diminishing return of value. That's really what you get at
Exactly.
the end of the day. So that
Exactly.
that may probably a topic that may probably be a topic for another day, talking about multitasking and context switching. What it really is and what the difference is between those two statements. All right. So the other question we have here from Malay Benjamin. How do you deal with scope creep during the PI?
During the PI planning, or you mean during the sprint? Because during the PI, that's what you're dealing with. You're talking about the
Yeah.
whole scope of work.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'd rather have my scope creep during PI because then you can talk about it and map it out during PI. But after the PI and you have the scope creep, and that's now it's something you have to bring it to the team, and then the PO will help determine if that's truly high priority item to deal with. And if it's not, it's something that can wait. And if it's something that have to be worked, we have to do the trade-off. where we will now commit to that new scope because it's now a high challenge to work on. And then we now pull the other one for the next sprint. So I rather I do with the scope creep in the PI, but I think this question rely mostly on the team, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like the way you put it though. During PI, that's why we're there,
yeah,
so
that's
that we don't
it.
have to do with some scope creep down the line,
Exactly.
because we're there to align,
Yep.
so that after that meeting, we are working on what we've aligned on.
Yeah.
If any changes happen, okay, let's have this conversation. What is the change? Okay, how do we, mitigate this, whatever risk we have concerning this change? How do we do trade-off so that we stay
Yep.
on track towards being able to still deliver value at the end of the whole thing? All right.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. So the next question from Olubenga Ajayi. What's PI? What's
What is
PI?
your
Please stop using these
program increment?
acronyms.
Myself, I used to do like that in the beginning. I'm like, what is PI? It's
Yeah.
program increment. Basically, it's just a place where you discuss the next the program vision, goal, and the roadmap is mapped out for a particular agile release train art. And in one art, you can have multiple teams. And some of those teams might have dependency. So that's why you're even doing PI for the most part in the beginning. For the most part, that's why you're doing PI planning to map out
Okay.
dependency and further break down work between team and determine how you can achieve your goal, your program increment, right? Your end of the usable, shippable increment for our end users.
Yeah. Wow. I just love your mindset and your way of thinking about the whole thing, putting the little pieces together. I mean, it's just everything.
Coach,
So
I'm
for
gonna be like you.
I told you, you shouldn't aspire to be like me. You should aspire to be you, discover your true
Yep,
potential, and
yep.
be the best of who you can be. You know?
As I am, as I am.
Yeah. So again, Olubenga, I think we already talked a lot, before you connected. So after the whole broadcast, please feel free to go back and rewatch the video. I'm very sure that you will learn a lot. And then James is asking, what is Safe Scrum?
Safe. Scaled agile framework. That's what safe is. For the most part, company will actually start with a little one scrum team. And we all know, like a part of the scrum guide, the goal is to have team of 10 or less people in a particular team. And sometimes when companies decide to transition and start working in the agile way of doing things, they will implement Scrum in a particular one or two team. And if it's successful, they plan to now expand it in the whole department and the company wide. So that's where most part bigger company can just have keep multiple having small team. The goal is to have like have them on this arts. So and practice Scrum in a bigger, larger organization. And that's where SAFE comes in place. Because same is having multiple Scrum team in one that have the same goal and vision, and depending on the art, agile release train. And it further can be broken down based on the goal, dependency, and at the end of the day, on how can they deliver this value to the end users. So SAFE is like is another way of doing agile, basically.
So just to add to that, so Safe is just one of the agile frameworks,
Yeah.
just like Kanban, just like extreme programming, just like Scrum itself. Safe is really so you cannot do Safe if you're not doing Scrum though. So right now, today, 11% of organizations that are currently practicing Agile, they practice SAFE. So SAFE is more of the framework that is used to keep track of the work from a big picture standpoint. So that's what SAFE is all about. And we apologize for using all these acronyms. So yeah, so I'm learning to not use these acronyms. And the only reason why I'm using them is because I'm so used to them. And I used to be in that place before. Not even, I
Yeah.
just used to really hate acronyms because it
Yeah.
doesn't make no sense to me. So SAFE really stands for Scaled Agile Framework. So that's really the meaning of that acronym. But yes, that is what it is. All right. Ify is asking, how can you assist in getting a job for a new Scrum Master? So, Ify, that is a really good question. Again, if you check on the very first message that is pinned there, go to our website. I'm sure you will get all the insight on how our programs work, and we can definitely for sure help you. That is, if you want to be helped, if you're open to mentoring and coaching, yes, there's no doubt about that. And then we have this question from Comrade Jalo. How many sprints in a PI?
Basically, it depends. For the company that I've worked for, they had 5 sprints for one PI, but I know some have already had 6 sprints because you're planning for quarter, like in a quarter of the work, planning out like 2 to 3 months, and most of the time, we have in my company we had 2 weeks iterations, so we had 5 sprints in one PI.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we have this question from Bonnie. Um, can you please share some light on what are some PI planning anti patterns you've come yeah, what are some PI planning anti patterns you've come across?
PI planning, sometimes the meetings can go on and on, them describing their objective, and you in this meeting you're looking at it like, okay, what does this have to do with my own team? So you're just sitting down waiting for your own art or for your own team for them to announce your own team, what you're going to be working on, and that's something that can be boring. Other
Yeah.
anti-patterns too can be like when you don't have the right people working for the right part of the product. So that's something that can be challenging, and we've
Okay.
actually faced that as a team in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I can really relate with that, especially on the first thing you said about meetings, people just going on and becomes boring. I mean, there is really something that we call Zoom fatigue
Yeah.
or virtual fatigue. It's real. It's real. You will find yourself. Imagine this meeting is supposed to be a 2 days meeting. I usually find myself sometimes sleeping on the thing, and then I mean that's just my honest truth. And then I have to struggle to stay focused
Yeah.
and stay engaged.
Yeah.
A 2 days meeting is not easy, even
Yeah.
though we usually have little breaks,
Yeah.
along the line. But especially if what they are talking about really your team may not be working on that thing directly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, to be honest, it's very easy for you to just kind of lose focus.
That is true.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sonny is asking, which framework do you both prefer, and why Scrum or Safe? So I think that question is for you and I. So maybe you want to go first.
Coach, you don't want to go for us and say for Scrum. I think it's the same, right? Because you
Mhm.
Scrum is when you're dealing with smaller teams, and Safe you are doing Scrum but in a larger platform. So I'll say it's
Yeah.
like the same, but you
Mhm.
mean like if you're the environment to work in an environment that does not do safe?
Mhm.
Actually, currently in my organization, we do not practice safe, and we have people that are so anti-safe because they feel like it's just something that they don't see this particular department doing. So
Mhm.
we do objective and key results (OKRs).
Mhm.
So I actually prefer working in an environment that's not safe.
Yeah, okay. All right. We appreciate your truth.
Yeah.
So, if I would want to answer this question, first of all, safe is a form. So, like I said before, you cannot do safe if you're not doing Scrum. You
Yeah.
see, so s- Scrum is just a framework, just like Agile, which definitely I love Scrum. And when it comes to safe, I wouldn't say I don't prefer safe. However, I wouldn't just go copy the gospel safe and just come and paste on my organization. I wouldn't do that. So what I would rather do is I would pick all the things that I think may be beneficial to my environment, and then I would implement it. There are some things that I pull out of Kanban. There are some things that I pull out of so many different frameworks and then implement it in my organization really based on our needs. So that's really how I see it. I try to look at okay, how can this benefit me? I don't just go by, okay, they say an environment that is practice that has more than 4 Scrum teams, it's recommended they use safe. I don't just go carry safe and start using. No, I
Yeah.
check. What I think about is, okay, what is in it for me and my team, and then I look at some of the factors that I can pull out of that framework, and then add to what we're already using, and then make it work for us. So that's really my approach. All right.
That is true.
Yeah. So okay. So this is a question from Diane. Are PIs quarterly or is determined by organizations?
I think it's very important to note that each organization does safe differently. Because I've been with two different companies that have done that say they're doing safe and they're totally doing it so differently. And most of the time though, like a PI is basically like a quarter, like quarter one or quarter two, they plan for that 3 months worth of work.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised too if you go to a company that they do it totally different.
Yeah, again, yes, I agree with you. I think it's really based on the organization.
Yeah.
But in my own experience, we've typically done quarterly PI planning meetings. All right, let's take this question from, oh, okay. Gaston. So Gaston is asking, can a UAT coordinator in a waterfall system transition into Scrum? If you ask me this question, everybody should be transitioning into Scrum. So I think you're just asking one very, very passionate agile practitioner. And if you're
I know,
passionate
right?
about something,
We'll
your
just say
passion
yes.
can, you can feel that everybody should be doing it, which is really not true. But on whether you are capable, you are more than capable. Yes, anybody can do agile. Anybody can do Scrum, to be honest with you. But the point is, you should be ready to be coached
Yep.
because it's a partnership thing. I
Yep.
cannot want it more than you do.
Yep.
You should want it, and then I will help guide you to achieving that goal. That's
Yeah,
really how it
mentorship
works.
is very important because there's a lot
Yeah.
of classes out there. People will just attend to this class and feel
Yeah.
like, oh yes, now I'm a Scrum Master. It's
Yeah.
more than just a 2 days class.
Yeah.
It's something that you're still gonna need a coach. You need someone that will guide you and inspire you. Because most of, if you know, even the Scrum guide itself is just a 14 page, right?
It's
It's
13,
it's a,
actually. Only
it's
13.
it's a framework. So there's a lot of companies do it differently. So sometimes you'll find yourself after those classes that you're still going to need a mentor in order for you to be successful in it. So
Yeah.
if you're planning to do that, I think it's very important for you to plan also to invest in having a mentor.
Yeah, and that's the biggest one of the biggest gaps in this piece because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't talk about that. You would see people, they honestly and genuinely go for this 2 days training because that's really how most of the trainings are structured.
Yeah.
And then after that, they have the impression that they are Scrum Masters. No, you're not. You're not. You're really a Scrum Master certification holder. That's who
Yeah.
you are. You are not a Scrum Master. It's way deeper than you think. And that is really what I'm trying to sensitize a lot of people. I just need a lot of people so that because this thing can cause demotivation or depression, you
Yeah.
just really hopeful that, oh, yeah, you have this certification. You should be getting this job now.
Yeah.
No, nobody wants you to come use the organization as your guinea pig. No, see, yeah, I mean, yeah. So having a mentor to me is not optional. It's not.
Yeah.
All right, let's take this question from Malay. If I'm pronouncing your name wrongly, I apologize. So they should schedule the meeting. Oh no, that's not a question. Okay,
Again.
this is a question. Again, that question is still from Malay. What is the market like in the States and the rates for Scrum Masters or Agile coaches? So Malay, to better answer this question, anything I can say here may just be anything, but because I'm very data oriented, I would strongly suggest you go to LinkedIn, go to glassdoor.com. You can also go to Indeed. To me, these are the three credible sites that
Yeah.
you can go to gather insight on the market of Agile. You see, so but if you ask me based on my own research, the last time I checked, only on one platform, that was LinkedIn today, the open agile practitioner opportunities that are on there today was almost 185,000 job opportunities only
Yeah.
on LinkedIn alone, you see.
Yeah. It's a
And
lot of job.
yes, yes. So to check on the salary and all of that, Glassdoor would be the best place to go check on the salary.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that it's good. The pay is
Mm-hmm.
good, to be honest with you. Yeah. Okay. So we may be wrapping up in a few, but let's take some more questions here. Please, first of all, I want to apologize if we are not able to take your questions today. Do not be worried about it because this is going to be ongoing for three
Yeah.
months, and this is just our second episode. So next week we'll be hosting another amazing coach, and we will continue from where we stopped today. So, but we can take like three more questions, and then we call it a day. Um. So, oh, someone says my own teacher trained coach prepare you for interview and get you a job. Okay, great. That's awesome. That's exactly what we are talking about. As
Yeah.
long as you are going through all of the phases, that's
Yeah.
exactly all that matters. Um, and then Malay said Scrum goes beyond the certification. Oh yeah, I totally agree with you. And then Ninju Paola, is it mandatory for the whole team to attend a PI meeting?
I would say it's very important. And you hardly see a team that's not curious about attending a PI planning. Although it's like a lot of people that's like, oh, frustrated and complain about the whole meeting. But I don't think I've ever come across a team that skipped the meeting. They'll always like plan ahead for it and take it as something very important. Because to be honest, it is a valuable meeting. If you can go there with open mind and trying to actually land on the initiative and the goal your team will the team have to work on, I think it's a very, very meeting that everyone should attend. Basically, mandatory, I would say yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So I would like to see it as that. However, just to add to what Aisha have said, as with an agile mindset, we never really want to make anything mandatory.
Yeah.
It should always be willfully. Again, we want to first make sure that the attendees or the stakeholders understand the purpose of this. I mean, if you are able to help bring to light the purpose, the value of this, whatever you're asking them to do, including the PI planning event, they would definitely want to be part of it because they clearly see what's in it for them. Yeah, so they will definitely want to be part of it because at the end of the day, I always like to assume that everyone wants the best for the organization, including these team members. So yes, I wouldn't lean towards mandatory, but again, it will be very valuable if everyone can be part of it so that we all are aligning. Yeah, so now let's take the last. Oh, we have two more questions here. Who scheduled the PI meeting?
The release train engineer for my company that I've been with is the release train engineer, and for the breakout session, I used to schedule this meeting for the breakout sessions.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. And then mentor Yvonne is asking, how often does your team deploy?
Oh, that's a very good question. I remember one of the company I was working with would deploy at the end of the PI. And another one too I was working with, we would do like mini releases like at the end of the sprint. So I think it depends on the company and at the team or what your product you're actually working on.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so I just want us to see this comment here from, I don't know if it's a comment or a question from MZPIHO. So you can certified and know you can be certified and know nothing. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we've been talking about. Learn it first. Yes, true. Don't
Don't
be
be crazy.
certification crazy. Yeah,
That
that's a
is so
topic that
true.
we'll definitely address. And again, I don't blame some people who have the certification and then they just excited about it because sometimes they fail to understand the really the purpose, the intent of certifications. The intent of certification is really to validate
Great.
your
Yep.
knowledge. That's the intent of certification, but that's really a topic of another day. It's not about you just owning a certification to prove that. No, it's really why you should be taking the certification is really to validate your understanding of the concept. That's really what certification is all about. So if you go through something and then you just have a certification and you still don't have the knowledge, no, I wouldn't think you should be happy about that. So seek to arm yourself with the knowledge and the understanding of whatever that thing is. It mustn't be agile though. Whatever that is, seek to arm yourself with the understanding of the knowledge. And then if you're going for the certification, then go to validate, just to go test that, okay, do I really know this thing? Go to validate your understanding of that concept. So yeah, so that's really what I can say. I can tell you that I've gone through so many different certification trainings. I only end up with the trainings. I didn't bother to go take any certification because I thought, okay, I have the
Yeah.
knowledge, I'm good to go. The
Yeah.
certification doesn't really matter as long as I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right. So we are wrapping up right now, and I have learned a lot from these. I think it's been 56 minutes so far, and I'm so thankful. Aisha, I really appreciate you coming here today and sharing your experience with our audience. So thank you again so much. And I mean, again, if you're looking to reach out to us, please feel free, visit our website and check again. You can feel it, check on the description box on this post. You should get enough information on how to reach out to us. Aisha already said if you're looking to reach out to her directly, go to her Instagram account or her LinkedIn account, or feel free to reach to us and say you want to talk to Aisha. I mean, reach to Being Agile, because I can call Aisha anytime and definitely reach out to her. And I'll be glad to connect you both. So again, thank you all so much.
Yeah,
And
thank
for
you.
our Muslim viewers, I forgot to say happy
Eid,
Salah,
right?
right? Happy Salah to all our Muslim viewers. And thank you all so much for being part of this, our little village. We
Yeah.
appreciate you all, and have an amazing rest of your Sunday.
And
Bye.
thank you so, Coach. Thank you for having me. I truly have.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Yes. Bye
everyone. Have
bye.
a good one. Bye.